Hello, friends, and welcome back to another Needlessly Nostalgic. I am one of your hosts, Tyler Nichols, with my other host, Lance Velchek. Lance, can you believe that we already have made it through the Evil Dead franchise?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a ton. I'm sad to see it go. I've actually had a lot of fun and a lot of good memories. I felt a lot of nostalgia getting back into these movies. It's been a while since I've done a deep dive. But like everything else, it comes to an end, and there's not a ton of these. So unlike the extravaganza of John Carpenter, where like by the time we got to that, and I was like, I don't even know who he was at the beginning. Like who was I? This is more like, oh, this sucks. I wish there was more.
Yeah, it's amazing how much they can feel. I mean, even with the Friday the 13th franchise, you get to a point where it's like, okay, this is a bit of a marathon now. But with this, where it's like you're saying, I wish there was more than we could cover. Obviously, there's the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show, which we will likely figure out how we do eventually, because we clearly had so much fun talking about Mr. Ash Williams and the Evil Dead franchise that it would be easy to be able to discuss that series in great detail. And
I hope we do some way, somehow, eventually. It's just because after seeing this now, I feel like I'm more primed to pick out things and see where things have changed. I guess more or less just the growth of the series, I think, would be interesting to kind of look at from that perspective now that we've gone through all of them in such a short period of time.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so we, those that are unaware, after we do our little franchise chats, we like to do a ranking. And obviously this is a little less films to rank. And I think I'm pretty sure I know what your order will be. And I'm pretty sure that if I wasn't, wacky, I think we would have the same list. That's my general thought on it, just from us recording these last 5 episodes. However, as proven by the Carpenter extravaganza and the the Friday the 13th franchise chat, I don't have quite a grasp on your ranking. Like you might.
We have the same one, dude. I can tell you only one movie's different. Okay. That's the only difference. And again, I don't know it. I'm guessing, but I'm going to make a bet.
Yeah, that's another thing. We never tell each other our list. That way it's fresh. That way we can give each other shit in the moment.
So my bet is that there's one movie that's going to be moved around for you and me, but I guarantee you we're going to start off on the same one. I guarantee number 5 is the same.
Yeah, let's get into it. Number 5, the original Evil Dead. Just kidding.
I wouldn't even. You didn't trick me there. It's like, come on. Yeah. We both fucking are going to put Evil Dead Rise at the bottom. Let's not. Yeah. Let's not dance here.
Anyone that listened to our Evil Dead Rise episode will know how much I mean, I don't. Would we say hated? Because like it was a quite vitriolic episode.
No, here I think you and me are on the same page. It's not a terrible movie, but it's a very disappointing Evil Dead movie. So that whole episode, it will come off like it was the worst movie in the world. Like that movie kidnapped a child, held him for ransom, and had to go and kick down the door and take him back. That's what it came off as. But in reality, it's not bad. No, but it's a bad Evil Dead movie, and we were kind of, I think, I don't know how to say this nicely, not pissed per se, but I felt like as that episode got on, we just got more jaded. Yeah. Like that last quarter of that episode is like, we're just like, fuck it, hell.
My intention was to shame anyone that likes Evil Dead Rise into then, while they listen to the episode, going, wait, am I wrong? Which I think we properly pulled off, because, yeah, I would say that... I don't know. There's just a bunch of objective things that we go over. There's plenty of subjective things too. We're just Evil Dead fans, so a lot of stuff.
Don't we have a common friend, Mr. Andrew Hatfield? Doesn't he like it? Yeah. Andrew, you listening? I think you like that, right? Did I see that text?
Yeah, I think he is a fan. I'm sure there's plenty of other fans of that film. We don't count ourselves amongst them, but
no, I just want to give Andrew shit because I'm sure he's going to hear this. And I'd love to hear his take, but we do not like it. And there's like an hour and 40-minute episode where we just sit there and talk trash. So it was a good time. And it sucks. It sucks as an Evil Dead film. It's simple as that.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I'm trying to like expound a little more. It's tough because we did just talk about this one for, like you said, almost 2 hours. So I'm trying to think in terms of just my overall general thoughts on it. And it's like the like this viewing, the CGI bugged me less, but there were other things that bugged me more. So it didn't really come together as like a interesting viewing that I wanted. I was really hoping against all hope that I would suddenly like see the light, and it was like, oh, you know what? Actually, they do something interesting here. But instead, I just got more and more annoyed and frustrated as the film went on.
Yeah, I put a couple notes just to sum up. It's just to have at least something to say. Exactly, to more than it just isn't good. A few things I wrote down was the family aspect. I think was a risky move because it really limits what can happen, and the fact that if it's a family, I'm supposed to care about them, and this should be more of a sad downfall. The problem is that I hated the family, and so I felt annoyed because the movie wasn't trying to get me to hate them. It just trying to get me to love them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was failing at its job. And all that did was kind of limit the deadites I can get. It limit the sort of visceral gore and just meanness that I've come to love via the remake. And obviously, as we talked about, these new Evil Deads are going to be the serious ones. And anything Raimi does with Bruce and his friends should be the kind of, comedic ones. So I already just didn't like it based on, I think, it failing to really sell me the entire point. I thought the characters were annoying. Everything had a CGI touch up, which I felt really stood out this time. It's funny. We had the reverse. I didn't mind the CGI as much the first time I saw it. This time bothered me more. I think everything was held back. We are in modern times, and from 2013 to now, I mean, gore has kind of come back in terms of like Terrifier. But before that, we were in kind of a lull of like, there'd be spurts, but we weren't really into hardcore gore. And this came out during a time where we weren't into it. And it really showed. Cheese grater scene, tattoo gun scene, even the wood chipper at the end. It's like Fargo was gorier than that. I mean, I think I'm being a little bit ridiculous here, but I'm saying it just didn't do it. So my overall thoughts is this is just kind of a half measure, man. It's, as Mike said, it's like no half measures, and this is what that is. So I wish him the best. And I'm happy that this seems to make a lot of people full of joy. I really wish I could get what other people got. I just feel that I'm alone. It's Evil Dead without the heart of what makes the franchise work.
Yeah, and it just doesn't work. It's very sloppy in its execution. It's just, I don't know. Everything about this film didn't work for me in a way that I wasn't expecting. Like I kind of went into it like being like, okay, well, there might be some so bad it's good to enjoy, or just some kind of element to take from it more so than just the legacy sequel that it ended up being. We bitch about the Womp Stomp films, Friday the 13th fan films, because it's just fan films are frustrating. And so when they then try to legitimize themselves, it's just what? And this kind of feels like a fan film is trying to legitimize itself. It doesn't feel connected enough to the Evil Dead franchise. I understand there's like a Bruce Campbell voice cameo, and hey, why not throw a Mia voice cameo in there if we're gonna fucking do something of like some kind of legacy thing?
There's something we didn't mention in the episode that we should probably mention real quick, is that we did talk about how they referenced better movies in a way that just felt really clunky, like the Dead by Dawn. But we didn't bring up how fucking lame it was that Beth said, "Come get some," and it didn't work. And that, I think that is the poster for why the movie sucks to me. Come get some. It's like, you're not Ash. We don't need that. It does not work. Dead by Dawn didn't work. This doesn't work as well.
Now you're making me think. It's like, I wish we literally had a DJ in this movie. Why did this
caused the problem?
Why did the DJ
that caused all the problems?
But why did the DJ not at one point like have a sick track and go, ooh, that's groovy. Like, that's what I want. Go further with it. If you're gonna go bad, go all the way bad.
But then that's more Raimi's territory. This guy, I should have. I feel bad. I don't know the director's name.
Lee Cronin.
Yeah. Lee Cronin. I don't think he. I don't know. I just don't think that was in his wheelhouse to like get a little fun.
Yeah.
No slapstick here, except for the eye, I guess, and that was again done better in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I hated the execution of the eye, and I hated the execution of most things. That whole weird Deadeye amalgamation at the end really bugged me. I know that some people love it, but I think it's just a monstrosity that just looks really stupid and doesn't work. I think that I like the concept. The execution just leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, you won me over on that argument this time because I was the person that liked the monster because I liked the idea of a monster and I think that was a cool thing for this movie to do. It didn't do much with it.
You just got to get over your visceral initial love for like you see something gooey and creepy. You're like, ooh.
I know, but I don't want to get rid of that because I feel like that's like the last ember of like hope I have. You know, I'm so cynical. It's like I need that. If that goes out, I don't know what's going to happen to me, dude. I need, but again, I watched it this time, second time with you, and I agree. I mean, I don't hate it, but yeah, it was really I didn't realize how much they just kind of hid and wasted. It's like, dude, that should have been like the third act is the monster, not the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're not really proactive in this film, Beth, I'm not going to blame the little girl, but you actually brought up a good point earlier of Evil Dead is not a family. I understand that you can put things like everything doesn't have to be the exact same skeleton every single time. But when it comes to Evil Dead, yes, I think you probably could make it a family story, but it has to be the dynamics that we're used to. Meanwhile, in this, everyone hated each other. No, like these people didn't seem to get along. There was all this space in between everyone. Meanwhile, think back on every fucking film in this franchise. There's love between some characters. Some characters have some love. And Rise, it's just like nothing but just hate or, they're supposed to, it's the mom. So they care because of that. I didn't actually feel that they like cared about their mom. It was more of, oh, yep, our mom died. You know what I mean? Like nothing actually hit.
Yeah, if they really wanted to do something different in a way that could have worked, it should have been like uber depressing and just like fucking sorrow but you'd have to be mean. You'd have to kill these kids that we loved, make it messy, and then have these kids like torture the mom, and not physically but like mentally and like they say interesting things about like the baby and burning in hell. Like, oh, I like that. But you'd have to have like the kid being like, I wish I could crawl back in your room so I could rip it out. I hate you so much. Like something crazy. Have the fucking mom cry because her fucking kid is sitting there dead and torturing her. But instead, it's just the whole movie's a half measure. To bring it back to that, dude. It's just they really didn't know how to really lead with anything, and we just get a bunch of lame characters. Yeah. I know, and they wasted the high rise.
Yeah.
They wasted a cool setting, and that pisses me off, man.
The high rise is pointless, and I hate the earthquake to set the whole film up. It's lazy. It's just, it doesn't work. And yeah, if you want to listen to even more about our bitching about Evil Dead Rise, then check out the episode that released on what?
I love you gonna check it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to figure out on January 31st. Make sure to check that out. But yeah, I think we've talked Evil Dead Rise. Let's improve our moods by getting into number 4 on our list. Mine, I'm pretty sure it's yours too. The original Evil Dead.
It is.
Oh, see, I'm pretty sure that we are in alignment for most of our Evil Dead.
So, it is.
So,
okay, that's
yeah.
what happens.
What do you think? You wanna start with some Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead? Sorry.
Yeah. So I think Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead.
It's. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. No, Evil Dead.
I did it.
Evil Dead is, it's a brilliant student film. It's not a story that's going to, break the bank. It's not changing the world. I think why the Evil Dead works is because Sam Raimi's, sort of intense, visceral directing, his impressive, actually, knowing that he's not big into horror, lean into like the gross, the gory and the bloody, I think really just sets this up as a great film. As we talked in our episode, their acting isn't great. There are some technical difficulties. Things are out of focus at times. The camera shakes when it shouldn't. There are things you could actually pick apart. I think why I love this so much is because it inspired me as a high schooler or grade schooler. I forget when I saw it. This kind of let me know that I could have made a movie, and not that I would have been as good, but I felt like I could see this student film in it, like a bunch of friends getting together, and that aspect cannot be separated. So that's why I hate to say it's number, I guess 4 on our list, on my list.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's a 4-star movie, but it is a student film, and that works against it because obviously it's hard to compare student film against something like Army Darkness. But I also love it because it's inspiring. This entire movie is inspiring. Hanging out with your friends, making something wild and fucking crazy, setting up lore. This like plants the seeds to everything I'll love. They haven't sprouted yet, but I would never look down on The Evil Dead. I think it's super important to this entire franchise because everything we love came from this. You could see aspects. You said in our episode a while back, it does have some very dark humor. It's there. You have to look. You have to kind of, sift through it because, again, most people would just think it's mean. But there is some humor. Not the slapstick of Evil Dead 2, but it is here. Ash doesn't become the Ash I love, but he does kind of stand up towards the end, So we do get a little bit of character build. We get the cool dead-eyed look. Not quite what we'd come to love, but it's there. The white eyes, they didn't have the money. And this is setting up what, when they did have money, we would eventually love. And so, it's super important. It may not be my favorite, but it has to exist. It has to be with me at all times. It's not my go-to per se, but it's more important than I'm giving it credit for.
Well, I will give it all the credit in the world because I love this movie. The fact that it's rated so low on the list is just a I don't know. It's not an indictment of the film's quality. It's more of a praise of the franchise overall because this is just such high quality throughout. And the first film, yeah, it does have that student film aspect, and I think that's so charming. And I think we've mentioned in the episode, it's like this is teetering towards the part where it might be dated for younger audiences. So that element it's always sad to see something start getting dated. I mean, it happens to anything. We're going to reach a point where Jaws suddenly seems dated, which is sad, but these kinds of things just happen. You don't expect them to. And I think that this is just the ultimate put on late at night with the sound blaring kind of film, and it makes you go down like a rabbit hole of like just insanity because the whole final act is just nuts. I liked spending time with these characters between Cheryl. Like Cheryl's fantastic. Shelley was it? I'm trying to think of all of the other names. Was it Steve? What's the other?
No, Steve's okay. Yeah, I mean, Ellen Sandwich, Cheryl's good. There's Linda, Betsy Baker.
Yes, Linda was the one I couldn't. Scott is it? Yeah, I was like, Steve's not right. Scott.
And this gave us what's her face under the cellar door banging and screaming as things get nuts. I mean, there are definitely moments in here that are brilliant.
Yeah.
It's it started what we love.
Yeah.
Everything can be tied back to this. I could see every element. It's not as polished, but again, there is a charm to that because eventually, you could over polish something. I don't think they ever did, but as we talked in our Texas Chainsaw commentary of number 4, like the rawness of the first one's so unique, but by the time we get to like 3D and shit where it's nice and polished, it's boring and sort of lifeless. So that is possible. So I do kind of get how, and I've read it on a lot of comments, how some people find this to be the best.
Yeah.
That the rawness of Evil Dead, you know, it's like, they got comedic and it's fine. I like them, but man, I miss this. And I get that.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got the remake to sort of, you know, I think be a spiritual sequel, but this is up until that point, the only one that was true horror. So I think it gets a little credit for being sort of the black sheep, I guess, in the end. If you look at the OG trilogy, because it really is the only one that kind of was really just a horror film.
And it stands out too because it's not a surprise that this is the film that would then be eclipsed by the rest in the franchise, because when you think about the rest in the franchise, it's at least with Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, they're in the beginning of their films, they're literally just like summarizing Evil Dead. So it's kind of just it's essentially saying in the franchise, like, no, that movie's just a footnote in our overall story. So I think that even that, it can be easy to just kind of dismiss it. And yeah, I love this movie. It's still a 4 out of 4, and it's
easy.
Yeah, it's great to see where they came from. And also too, it's a like nice film school between 1 and 2, because you get to see just the character, obviously the technical side, but the character growth, how they're able to, because Ash in the first film is just, he's not quite as defined. He's just more of a schlub, doesn't have a lot of the traits that we then know to like love him by. And so then the fact that when we finally do get the traits that we know him from in Evil Dead 2, where it's like, okay, we're able to see this growth in their filmmaking in terms of giving people distinct voices, because as much as I do like the 5 people in the original film, they do kind of share the same voice, very much written. You can tell it's written by the same people. Whereas, you know, which is it's a common mistake in any early writing, because it's usually they speak with the voice of the narrator. But clearly by Evil Dead 2, we have these people that have very distinct personalities. So it's just, I like being able to see the growth from 1 to 2, because obviously if it had been all perfect in the first film, then we wouldn't have gotten to witness that growth. So it's a little film
and it
school.
came at a time where sequels were not rushed out. So like Raimi was older. He was more polished in terms of his technical abilities. And, you know, he had time to kind of think of where he wanted to go, because I don't necessarily know if Ash would have been as cool in number 2 if this came out a year and a half later. You know, we might have actually had more of a Freddy's Revenge on our hands, where it's like, you tried to go somewhere else and it doesn't really work, and you have to kind of go back. This was, I think, a great natural progression, and, you know. That's
a good point. This could have very easily, or the second one could have very easily been something where then it's like, oh, shit, yep, we fucked up. Let's go back to the horror of the first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they have such an understanding of humor and comedy that it's like they were never gonna fail with that side. Which is crazy that they don't do like outright comedies ever. Like you never see them do like a Kingpin.
Right. I mean, it wasn't oh my gosh, the movie before Evil Dead 2,
Crime Wave
one. Yeah, I think that was like the most comedic, and it just tanked so bad that they might have never really want to touch it again, you know?
Yeah. Which that's too bad, because I would have loved to have seen what they could get up to. All right. Anything else with the original Evil Dead?
Nope. I love it. I own it. I'll always own it. And anytime I show somebody the franchise, that, you know, that's a guarantee. I would never skip it.
Agreed. There's no, I was going to say there's no skips in this franchise, but there's stop earlys. You don't have to skip that. That's just stop early. There's
a good point.
Once burn, and God, we need to come up with a fun fake title for the other Evil Dead Swim.
I'm just hoping Burns good, man. I don't know. That name is kind of lame, so I'm already nervous. I'm already nervous.
Yeah, it's super lame, but we'll see. I like the director. All right, number 3, Army of Dark. I'm just kidding. Number 3, Evil Dead 2.
Okay, my number 3 is 2013.
Oh, so we finally have some variation. That means the rest of our list will be different.
Yes.
So then number 2.
Do we have to match, right?
Yeah, number 2 for me is Evil Dead 2. Or
number 2 for me is Evil Dead 2.
Right? Didn't I? No, Evil Dead 2. Wait a minute. I fucked up. I just said Evil Dead 2 twice. Right? Yeah. Number 2 for me is Army of Darkness.
Okay. No. Number 2 for me is Evil Dead 2.
Now we talk Evil Dead 2.
Okay, let's do Evil Dead 2, buddy. You could start off because I think we both absolutely love this movie.
Yeah, this movie it's incredible. Like, it's so much fun. If Army of Darkness wasn't so incredible, then this would be my most rewatched film of the franchise, because it's a blast to put on. You just throw this on, and I know that I've had days. And I know what happened when I first got the 4K, where I just I would just throw it on. As soon as it ended, hit play again. And I just had like a whole day where it's just like Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 2. Because it's great. It's just so much fun. Or I should say Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn.
Dead by Dawn.
Original title.
Yeah, it's the quintessential Evil Dead movie. It's everything that we love about this entire franchise came into its own in this movie. Ashley becomes Ash. We are introduced to more upfront comedic elements, a little slapstick, which has been obviously outside of like the new ones. But anytime that Bruce and Sam are involved in any way, this is the tone, whether it be the games, the TV show. This is the tone that has like prevailed ever since. We have the chainsaw hand, the one-liners, the Deadite look, though it's been obviously tweaked since this. This is, I think, the format. Whereas one was kind of close, but they didn't quite have it. This is what like a Deadite looks like, and then any variation has to come off of part 2. It's perfect. I completely understand why it's a fan favorite. It's one of my go-tos, of course. It made me, when I found this after Army of Darkness, it's like I couldn't have imagined finding gold, dude. It's like Ash was fucking cool. It was fun. It was weird. It just takes number 1 and it just amps everything up. Raimi's a better director. I mean, there are, again, amazing shots in the first one, but it's like, imagine just a slightly more proficient part 1 and you get just fucking bangers in this, dude. Bangers all the way.
I will make sure to put this on the Patreon, but I just found an amazing DVD of, I assume that this is Spain for Evil Dead 2. And apparently in Spain, it is called La Casa 2. And
House 2?
Yes, exactly. It's like, why is it the house? That doesn't make sense. Why the fuck is it House 2? But it doesn't, I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know why Discord always I can't put shit in Discord anymore.
Spain doesn't understand there's already a House 2. Poor Steve Miner.
I know, right? I mean, you would think that they would do something, like, even there would be something Evil Dead, like some kind of dead aspect, but no, it's La Casa 2.
You know what's funny is that I actually watched, it's a funny little,
it might be Italian
cover. Maybe, because I watched the remake with Spanish subtitles on it, and it like how it said Evil Dead made sense. I couldn't think how it did it. It was something like, I don't know, like death and then Satan or something, but it made kind of sense in Spanish. Yeah. So maybe this is Italian.
But
I don't know because I don't speak Italian.
Well, I'm gonna say it's Italian because the log line looks Italian. Preparativi ad una crisi di nerve. that seems Italian. Yeah, I didn't put it. I didn't put it on the Italian accent, but
yeah, people can't see the hand that we're doing. We're doing the hand motions.
That's all he needs, the hand
I
motion.
mean, it's goofy. I don't know. I prefer the American version, but why not?
I'm trying to look up all of the. We should have done this. This would have been fun to do in the actual episodes, is seeing the alternate titles. I'm looking at all the titles right now. La Casa 2. I was right. Italian. It's Italy.
Okay.
No, what's it? Mexico, Muerte Maldita 2.
Muerte. Yeah, I think I did see that that word in the remake.
That's funny. I mean, it's interesting to see the different ways.
Well, that's why La Casa 2 probably works, because I bet House 2 in Italy is probably not even that. It's probably like the Haunted Mansion or something, you know?
Yeah.
They do that, dude. They do that.
They have such, I mean, there's so many stupid titles. And it's the reason that we have, whenever we talk about Zombie 2, it can be confusing, because it's called Zombie in some places, but then it's Zombie 2 because they called Dawn of the Dead Zombie in Europe.
Yeah, I buy the DVD and it says Zombie. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe even in the title card in the movie it says Zombie 2, if I'm correct. It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah. I have an old school copy of that was like one of my first DVDs that I got from Best Buy, where it was like, ooh, I don't know what this is, and ooh, it's Italian, and I hated it. I think I avoided picking up random shit like that for a while.
It's the only Italian movie I think I like, but it also is it's kind of boring.
Oh, it's boring as shit, but it has some cool scenes.
Yeah, I think that's it. The eyes scene, the fight a shark.
Yeah.
I guess that's the Evil Dead needs to have Ash fight a deadite shark.
How did we not get that in Ash versus Evil Dead? That was probably a budgetary thing. That seems like something we would have gotten. As soon as you said it, I was like, did we not get that?
Right? Like deadite animals? Because we never really dealt with that. And I feel like that would be something kind of fun they could experiment with, because the thing really just goes into whatever it wants.
Yeah.
I don't think that POV spirit fucking doom-looking demon really has a preference.
I mean, we saw it in Evil Dead 2 with the demon going into all of the...
like appliances and the deer head?
Yeah, the deer head. And so it's like, yeah, it can clearly inhabit if it's dead, so why not, or hell, it can just kill it and then inhabit it. Good to go.
Yeah. I want a deadite shark is really, really what I'm talking about. Deadite sharks, dude, all the way. Obviously great white. Or Mako, because it's creepy too.
That now brings up the question. Do you think that means that so in your head, does the demon kill the person immediately?
I mean, that's one of those things where I'm pretty sure the rules have been bended depending on what they need for the movie and or show. Like, I still stand by it killed Ash at the end, but then in number 2, obviously because they want to bring him back, that it didn't.
Yeah.
And also, Love killed it. Mm-hmm. Love killed the fucking demon side, which they've never really discussed again. But I would have it kill it in my mind if I was making the rules, just because that makes sense, because it gets into you, you're dead, and you're just a deadite, and then you have to be, chopped in pieces. But
yeah, I
also get that, it's like this is Three Stooges meets fucking, Cabin in the Woods kind of stuff. So it's like, whatever.
Well, the rebirth can still happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they can still do the rebirth for Mia, and it still makes sense.
Well, Mia makes sense because they kill her.
Yeah.
They actually kill her and bring her back. Like, that's why, and when we get to that, that's such a cool scene.
But it's me in terms of, it's not like them say, it's like she's already gone, and then killing the demon is what brings her back. It's not killing, you know what I mean? That's always how I've taken it. They're like, the demon took her over, they're killing the demon so that she can come back.
Sure, and that works. Ash in Evil Dead 2, and I love it. He just looks at the necklace.
Yeah, the necklace, which they've slightly improved from the first one, but it's not quite. Which, like, what is it? The Evil Dead remake that then has I think I incorrectly called it a heart necklace. I think it's just wood around, like a intricate wood design around the
it's just a little
magnifying glass. Yeah. But it still looks. I like the look of it. Like it's cheesy.
Fun too.
Like, yeah, it's just like a fun cheesy thing. And I probably if another film did this without the reference point of Evil Dead, I would probably bash it. So it probably makes me a hypocrite. But it's charming.
Everything this movie does is charming. Like I want to bring up real quick because I did a video on it once where it's like when they get on the appliances and the animals, and he just starts going crazy. That is a good example of like why Evil Dead 2 is so iconic, because that is a filmmaker, a young filmmaker, I think, honestly, at the top of his game. How that scene looks, how it's filmed, the vibe of it. It is haunting. It's funny. It's weird. Evil Dead 2, I think, really, or Evil Dead as a franchise works, I think, when it kind of touches all those elements. I love the new ones because they're serious, but my heart belongs in the tone of Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
I think tonally, this is probably the best tonally, and hence why the show went off it. I love Army of Darkness. We'll get to that. If I had a small complaint, it would be that, it moves a little more away from horror, where it's like, this is my favorite balance because I think it makes the franchise unique.
No, I completely agree. I think that I think it's the most well balanced because obviously Army of Darkness goes even further into the comedy where it's there's practically no horror in that. So I think that Evil Dead 2 definitely works with the balance the best. It's a weird franchise because it does steadily move from from one thing to another, and then it sways back the other way. And then technically with Evil Dead Rise, it's trying to have its cake and eat it too by being serious, but then it's trying to call back to all these moments from the trilogy where it's like, wait, pick a lane. What are we doing here?
Well, it's all it's calling back to the parts of the trilogy that have comedic elements, which doesn't make sense for Evil Dead Rise. It's like you guys can't pull it off because the toner setting doesn't lend itself to this. And every time they do something, come get some, Dead by Dawn, the eye thing, it's cringy.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I'm trying to think of anything else with Evil Dead 2. I think we pretty much have covered it. That's another thing. Another thing. I feel like since we just recorded all these, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to then just repeat myself.
We did a great episode. Obviously, hopefully you've listened to it. I guess I should assume if you're listening to the ranking, you listen to them, but who knows?
I don't know.
When people check reviews, you go to the bottom sometimes and see the rating. I don't know.
We've had our ranking episodes have been pretty high numbers in terms of listens. So I think there definitely are some people that don't listen to the preceding ones. They just want to see the rankings.
Well, Evil Dead 2 is a masterpiece. It's 4 stars out of 4 stars.
Yeah, I agree. And now, wait a minute. Your number 2 was Evil Dead 2, right? So now we're going number ones. We can go my number 1 first. Evil Dead 2013. This is
you gave up. You gave it up, dude. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you. A couple episodes ago, you go, I might have it as my favorite movie. And I made a note. I was like, motherfucker's going to put it top of his list. So continue.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't hide this. I pretty much had my feeling, had my my heart on my sleeve throughout this in terms of, I wasn't trying to hide what my potential rankings would be, because this was probably the most fun that I had during our franchise chat was watching the Evil Dead remake, both the original, both without commentary and with commentary. It was, which is funny to say because it's such a dark movie and so evil, yet I don't know, it just kind of shows that something is, the wires are twisted in my head because in my brain, because I found it I find it very charming. I find it I just kind of get lost in it. I think they handle every element really well. The horror is so well done. They never get cheesy with it. They're able to essentially break the mold of what Evil Dead is while still being true to the franchise, which is absurdly difficult. That's damn near impossible. I mean, look at what Evil Dead Rise did. Not to always just go back to that, but clearly it's not a given. I think you and I say it many times since we're both editors of most people don't notice good editing. They'll notice bad editing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think with it's the kind of thing where then, you notice it stands out more when something is bad. So then when something's good, you kind of can dismiss it and oh, of course it's Evil Dead. Of course. It's like, oh no. Well, Fede Alvarez understood the franchise. He understood just how to do horror correctly, which I'm not going to say the man, I don't love Don't Breathe. I didn't make it through Don't Breathe 2. I like Don't Breathe more than you do, but I don't love it in terms of I think it's a really good potential story that then there's just random fucking stuff in it where I'm like, what's the point of why did this have to get added in? And so I think that, and same with Alien Romulus. I still liked it, but there's some shit where I'm like, why the fuck did this get added in? So it's nice that then with Evil Dead, the remake, where I'm like, fuck, Feedy just had his finger on the pulse and understood at least what I love about the Evil Dead franchise. So yeah, props to him.
I mean, fuck, you really had to go and checkmate me there, huh? What can I say that you haven't said? It did the impossible task. It remade a culturally important film that should have never been touched and somehow didn't shit the bed. And more surprising, was amazing. I won't try to repeat myself like we did in the episode. I had such a chip on my shoulder when this was announced. Oh my God. I mean, I feel bad how just against this. I was like, fuck this Alvarez guy, fuck Jan Levy, fuck them all. I don't give a shit that Sam Raimi's producing it. That meant nothing to me. And people are always like, well, Sam Raimi's producing it. It's like, yes, I also love money. What the fuck does that mean? It's like Sam Raimi's done bad movies. He fucking, he did that goofy Wizard of Oz movie. It's like nobody's flawless here. There's blood on everybody's hands. The difference is I understand that we're all trying to make a buck, and I'm okay with that. But there's no way this is going to be good. And somehow it looked at the OG, it looked at that original film and understood the tone. Like the tone that went for, and that's a tone movie. It absolutely is, because again, Kevin Woods, monsters, whatever, it's been done. Mm-hmm. But the feeling that gave you, and the feeling it was going for, is just this sort of like just building intensity to an unnerving peak. And Fede Alvarez completely got that. Was able to direct it in a way that felt Evil Dead in terms of shots, but didn't feel like it was aping off of Sam Raimi, almost like influenced by, what's his face we talked about that does, what's his name? Simon Pegg, those 3 movies based on Ice Cream.
You're right.
Yes, where it's like, I could see a Sam Raimi influence, but I don't feel like he's just ripping off Sam Raimi. It's like, no, I could tell where it's coming from. And this had the exact same feeling. It did what number one did in the 80s, only more extreme, more intense, more mean. And I think that's what I will always hold dear, is that in 2013, we were past the sort of like weak, goreless movies of the early 2000s. We have gone through the new French Extreme. We've gone through these changes. And this was kind of an interesting period where like it could have gone any way. It could have been gory. It could have been more of a thriller in a way. It could have been more, It's not what you see, it's what we infer. I would have hated it, but we could have. And the fact that he took this movie, dude, and made it so fucking mean to a level where I in the theaters was like, holy shit. I mean, iconic scene after iconic scene, razor blade to the tongue, pulling the needle out of the eye of my good old man Eric, which I would have also, as I said before, opened the book. He did nothing wrong. He got his comeuppance. That's fair. He did deserve a little bit of comeuppance, but I would also read from the book. Mia's ripping of her hand, sticking the chainsaw on that little fucking, I don't know, clone demon thing, whatever that was.
Abomination Mia.
Abomination Mia. I just feel like this is one of those movies where we could talk about 5 different scenes, or even Natalie cutting off her hand.
Yeah.
And it's don't do it. It's just like, this is what Evil Dead Rise is missing. Not to bring it back to that again, but we could talk about 5 different scenes here and just gush. The blood rain. I mean, he just understood the assignment and gave us something unique. And this was the tone that I would love going forward if we're making serious Evil Dead films. Mm-hmm. I love the idea of like this existing while, then Bruce making a show. I weirdly need both. But this also ruined it for me, because now I realized that this was a specific place and time. It was Fede and Bruce and Sam and Robert Tapert just, I think, molding this, and we will never have it again. So it's a masterpiece. I'd probably argue the best remake, not counting fucking The Fly or things like that. Like an actual, take a classic movie that we all love and make a remake. This might be the best. Not some shitty movie from the 50s and making an amazing movie in the 80s. I understand that. This is the thing. But in terms of making a great...
Say the name.
Because I hate when people are like, oh, it's like nobody gave a shit about
I get it.
the OG thing. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, maybe it had a little cult following, but you know what I'm saying? Like, taking a loved movie, Texas Chainsaw, Evil Dead, Poltergeist, let's think of all the movie remakes of actual classics. This probably is the best.
No, probably.
And that's. I mean,
no, probably.
Well, yeah, but I never want to put myself in a corner.
I'm putting you in a corner.
Really confident.
I'm putting what else?
I don't know, but I need a little wiggle room just in case.
All right.
I need an exit.
Lance can have wiggle room. I'm saying Evil Dead 2013 is the greatest remake of all time. I even put it above The Fly. There's so much about this film that just is incredible. I mean, pick performances. You can pick it's a powerhouse. Every single person does incredible in this. Even Natalie, who has like barely anything to do outside of die. She's great. Like there's so much. I watch so many films where then these people don't feel real. They don't feel like they were friends. They clearly just feel like actors that were brought in to do this thing. And then there's no stakes when they die. And so it's like you can feel every death. You feel bad for every death. Even fucking stupid Eric. It's like even Eric gets like just brutally killed, where then you're like, aw, damn. He deserves it, but you still, because of how brutal it is, you're like, fuck. Yeah. It's kind of like Rhodes in Day of the Dead. It's like, he deserved it, but that's still brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Rhodes. No, and Jen Levy was a great lead, and did not have to sort of be a female Ashley Williams.
Yeah,
she got to be her own character with her own, great ending line that like the heroic "I'm fucking back, baby." She got her own, and it felt authentic, and that's very hard to do.
Yeah, because
you might just get a bunch of people in a high rise going, "Dead by dawn, you're gonna dead by dawn." We could get that, and we didn't.
Oh my God. I'm so glad that we it could have gone so bad. Like so bad. Yeah. Thankfully
it should have, honestly. I think it's a miracle it didn't. I mean, dude, existence was against this movie. Remaking Evil Dead. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. Cause this was my number one until we did this. Our doing this little franchise chat is what actually changed my order, because I do think I think I mentioned this early. It might have been in this series where I'm trying to when we do these rankings, I'm really trying to go off of the moment and our viewings during this, rather than like, well, I've always felt this. I've always this has always been my ranking. I'm trying to go more in the moment, because I think that's I don't know. I think that's just it makes for more more unpredictable rankings. So,
well, I should say that I'm doing the opposite. I'm adding in history. Did an actor fucking cut me in line when I got coffee once? Like everything's in this, guys. Everything. But I get it. Evil Dead. The fact that I put the remake above the original, I almost feel bad. But it is one of those things where it's like, dude, I can't deny the feeling and tone of that remake.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness are just they're too intrinsic to my personality and shit like that. So I couldn't. I mean, Army of Darkness is hilariously important to me in terms of movies. I mean, I don't really make top 10s ever, but this would be suspiciously high if I ever had to make one, Well,
I mean, hint, you might have to make one. It's coming up at some point this year.
We'll figure that out. Army of Darkness, let me start and just say, it peaked every element outside of the horror in the franchise for me. It made Ash the Ash that I will always love. This is my go-to. He's still a buffoon, but there's a level of cynicism and anger that I love. And it makes sense here, because if all the movies happened, and they're saying they did, he's fed up by the time he's in the past, in medieval times. Like he's fed up. And I love that aspect of Ash, that just annoyed. I want to go fucking home. I'm done. As opposed to being frightful or surprised or even sort of, engrossed. And oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of time. I'm in medieval times. I'm with knights. He's just like, send me home. He's eating fucking grapes and giant turkey legs while beautiful women are fanning him. I mean, it's just everything about this is fun. It's big budget. It's cool. It's the most zany. I feel like Sam Raimi. It's my favorite directing of his.
Yes.
I think having a big budget and letting him run, it was so fun and so cool. There are the windmill scene, the book scene. It's like, oh, Raimi had millions and he still was hanging out with his friends. That's like the vibe I go for. Like, I want to hang out with you and I don't know, like John and other people that we love that are in the movies and make a movie with millions of dollars, but no real guy looking over our shoulder. Cause I felt like, and I'm sure there was a bit for Universal, but this does have a lot of stuff in there that would not be in a budget today of that movie. No fucking way.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. There's so much in this where it's like, oh, how the hell? How did they like manage to convince someone to do that? But also, this was just a different time, and as much as what was it? What was the budget on it? 12 million? I don't know why I keep thinking. I think this is the second time I've guessed 12 million for a film where it's just like, and ends up not even being close. But I'm trying.
Your go-to is always 12.
11 million.
Okay. 11 million in 1992 money.
Yes. Or 92 money, which is like not a
probably
lot.
But probably for inflation, if I'm guessing that's probably
30.
20.
Oh, I was going to say 30.
Oh, wow. I guess times are tough, huh?
I guess I was also adding in like thinking of marketing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Marketing back
but
then
still,
wasn't as
the
extreme.
mid-budget movie that we don't have anymore. That's what this was.
Yeah. And I mean, you said everything. I didn't love the director's cut quite as much as you. I think that my next viewing of it, I'll probably enjoy it more because I think we discovered while recording that Army of Darkness, two things that are really important to me is the pacing and the color timing, and both of those are changed in the director's cut. So I think it's just going to take another viewing. It's just kind of like the Alien special editions where there's a special edition of like Ridley Scott's Alien that it's like you can watch it, it's fine. Like, yeah, it like if you want more of that world, like it gives you some more shots, more just like it just expands just slightly more, but objectively ruins the pacing. Like it's just doesn't come together as well. Where then it's like, and even with was it Aliens, James Cameron's Aliens, it's like I understand someone that might enjoy the special edition. Same with T2 special edition. Like there's interesting elements, but the theatrical cut is the thing that I love because I think it's the most refined. However, I am still glad that these other cuts exist because then like those times that I just want more, I can then watch the extended or the special edition or the director's cut, whatever it is in that scenario.
And as you said, we're editors, so it's funny seeing what was cut, what wasn't cut, and how it affects things.
Yes.
And it's like, oh yeah, like, oh, I always think like as a director, you film this really cool scene. It's great. The effects are great. It is in its own way an iconic scene. Like the thing in T2 when they're taking the chip out of the head.
Yes.
But you also get, it's like, yeah, but dude, fucking pacing is this. So there is that what's the saying? Kill your baby. You got to be able to kill your baby.
Yeah. It's funny.
And
It's funny you mentioned that scene though.
it.
That's the reason I watched the special edition is because of that scene.
And it's a great scene, but it slows it down. And so you almost have to be like, okay, I got to be quick. Though, in all fairness, Army of Darkness is like so quick. It's not even 90 minutes. I mean, it's one of the few films that's like 82 where I'm like, guys.
Oh, dude.
But it does change.
Yeah, it's so fast paced. But again, it's what I love about it. It's so energetic. It almost feels like a cup of coffee.
100%. And we get the superior ending, which you and me agree. And I think most people agree, though. I think you and me are probably the more adamant where it's I don't give a shit that Ash gets his comeuppance that he always gets. I understand that they love doing that to him.
Yeah.
But the S-Mart ending is cool. It is cool. Objectively cool. And maybe that's the kid in me, but I don't know if I could ever not see that scene as just being completely rocking, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I almost feel like if I showed a kid today, like would they be like, oh, that's kind of corny? I'd be like, shut your mouth. That's not corny. That's fucking awesome.
Oh, this is definitely one of those movies that it would ruin a friendship if they were not into this film. Like, nope, can't. You get out of here.
You realize that like they're not on the same spiritual wavelength as you. It's like, oh, you don't process information the same way. I wish you the best. I hope you are happy in life. The door's over there. Goodbye.
I've had that happen a few times where it's just like, wait, you just either have no interest or like just didn't like it. Or I'm like, oh, well, this is so fundamental to who I am that clearly we are just not going to jive. Which,
I mean, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, it's that vibe is something that I feel like you're with. I mean, I'm sure we're not alone. There's a lot. I mean, there's a whole fucking fan base that are with us, but it is strange to think there are probably a good number of people that are not, because this is a unique tone. I'm not saying it's never been done, but it is that horror comedy balance that doesn't necessarily work for people, but for us, it's like, dude, it makes it what it is. Like, I need Ash to say cool one-liners. I need him to be dumb. I need him to get punched in the dick by a skeleton. All that is important.
the important thing to remember too is that this Ash is it's what we're used to in other forms of media. So the Ash we see in comic books, the Ash we see in video games, it is Army of Darkness Ash. Like, that is what has encompassed the character. That is what his, like, essentially that's the character's North Star at this point. If there's anything that someone has to make, it's like, watch Army of Darkness to get the character down. Like, that would be the Bible.
And it encompasses everything that makes Ash Ash. And that's why, like, I fundamentally disagree with Sam Raimi. And I understand that it's just more, he views this character as more of a schlub. But Army of Darkness Ash is still a coward.
Yeah.
Still bumbles. But when the chips are down and he really needs to stand up, he does. And I think that's a great, an aspect of the character I like. He did it in part 2 as well. He fucking made a chainsaw hand and went in the cellar, so he can be heroic. So that should be the character, because you can't really make a series, and when I mean series, like video games or comics or something, where a guy is just kind of cowering all the time. You know, you got to have him stand up a little and not be as dumb. And I think this is fine. I mean, more than fine. Of course, it's my favorite. So it's my peak. North Star is a great way to say it, where it's like, yeah, you need to find your Ash, look at Evil Dead, and look specifically in Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, I don't know about you, but someone that doesn't know anything about the franchise, I would not be telling them, oh yeah, watch the first Evil Dead. You'll understand the Ash character. Like, no,
you got to show people these movies. I don't trust anybody nowadays. If I'm showing anybody anything, I'm not going to be like, watch Evil Dead. I'm like, you got to come over and I'm going to force you to watch 1 and 2 in the same day, because you might watch one and be like, man, I'm not feeling it. Like, no, we got to watch 2.
Oh, dude.
You got to watch both.
I've had, or because then it's like, because then when you see it, or if it doesn't connect with them, and you can be like, yeah, because you were on your phone, or like, yeah, you got up and did this. I have a buddy that will do that, where he'll like tangentially watch something where it's like he's not even in the room, like he's in the kitchen half the time, and then he'll be like, yeah, I wasn't really feeling that, or I didn't really like that. Or then it's like, you didn't even watch the movie. It's like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, I've had a hard time as I've gotten older and realized that people don't watch movies like to be engrossed in the story. They kind of watch them, I don't know, it's like a afternoon basketball game.
Yeah.
It weirds me out. I have a rule. If we're in the, you come over and watch a movie, lights off, watch a movie. You pull out your phone, I'll pause the movie. Of course, Dad. If you got something to do, it's important text, somebody's dead, I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna watch you put it down. I'm just fucking start the movie. Like, we're not hanging out. We're not chatting. Like, if we were gonna put on a fun movie in the background and chat, that's different. You know, we could put on Captain Ron for the 100th time because it's amazing and just chat and talk. But I'm showing you a movie. If you're going to show me a movie, lights out, phones down, not a word, volume up.
Yeah, especially for like an important film where it's just like the moment I put on something, especially if I say like, okay, this is an experience. And then it's like, if you want, like just talk during every like little bit, every bit of silence where I'm like, okay, like you're not really getting the experience. Like, yeah, it's whatever. Old man yells at clouds.
But the good thing is everybody will eventually become the old man that yells at a cloud.
Yeah.
It happens to every generation. It's happened to us. It'll happen to the younger ones. So you know what? You can laugh at us now, but you'll be us. Sooner than later, you will be us.
Yep, because just like I remember thinking like, oh, that'll never happen to me. And then you get to that age and you're like, all these fucking young people don't understand. They don't get it. And you're like, fuck, I guess I am. It's the same thing that they did back in the day. But
it's a cycle, dude.
So now we are done with our Evil Dead franchise ranking. Before we get into our next extravaganza, our next episode drops on Valentine's Day. So Lance, what are we doing as a little bit of a Valentine's Day special?
We're doing a double feature of My Bloody Valentine, which is going to be the original and, of course, that awesome schlocky 3D remake.
And why are we doing it as a double feature?
Well, I mean, put me on the spot here. I came to you, and you mentioned about doing this, and I said, hey, I'll be real honest, man. I have a lot of love and a lot of affection for the remake. The original was something that I have seen. I didn't really grow up on it. I don't know if I have enough to do an episode. And I felt like I would hate to do an episode with you where you had all this information and this love and passion. I'm like, yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was fun. You know, sometimes we've done stuff where we've had to learn and realize that like if there's not enough to say, it might not benefit us to do a full episode. And I think a double episode, or I should say a double feature, I think pacing wise would fit better because we can kind of jump back and forth and kind of compare and talk. And I just think it'd be more interesting, at least for me.
You say that, and then it's going to end up being like a 2.5 hour monstrosity.
I have so much to say after the rewatch of the original. I mean, who knows? But I
love the original, so I'm going to have a lot to say about it.
That's why. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, I'd feel bad if I had nothing to contribute. But I'm curious to see how it's going to go because I haven't watched the original My Bloody Valentine in probably a decade, maybe more.
Yeah, and you're not a slasher guy like me, so it should be interesting because like usually I have a hard time getting a grasp on you for slashers because we've covered the Friday the 13th franchise, but you're a Jason guy. You're not a slasher guy, so it's hard for me to get. I'm
eclectic with the slashers, so it's gonna be interesting. But it'll be a fun episode because you have a lot of passion, and you know I think our passions are switched probably somewhat on this franchise. So I think it'd be franchise. Franchise is one movie and a remake. Yeah, the franchise.
And I mean, we'll get into it in the episode, but I have actually talked to Mr. Patrick Lussier and Todd Farmer, so we'll get into that. That is the writer and director of the My Bloody Valentine remake. So we'll get into some of that. And yeah, after. I guess you guys might be a little confused, like, oh, you guys just doing one-offs? No, we just have the one. And it's just because of Valentine's Day. And then we are going into our Stephen King extravaganza, which, no, we are not covering the entire Stephen King filmography. We are going to choose 5 movies each, and then we are just going to alternate back and forth. And then we'll have that followed up with a pretty classic franchise, but we'll wait a while to announce that. But yeah, so next week is My Bloody Valentine double feature. After that is the Stephen King extravaganza. Lance, are you excited for this?
The Stephen King extravaganza?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not at all. No, I'm disappointed. It'll be a sad time. Fuck yeah, dude. I love King. Grew up on the guy. It'd be fun. Can you explain real quick to the audience what the themes are going to be? Because I think you had a cool little idea.
Yeah, so we have the themes. We have we picked 5 each. We did 2 schlocky entries, 1 underrated, 1 classic, and 1 wild card.
Nice.
Yeah, so we should have a fun time. It should be a nice mix. That way we're not just in modern or classic King. We get to do a little bit of a, widespread. And so I think that's the way to do it, especially with someone with such variety as Mr. Stephen King. So definitely check that out, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.